Hello everyone and welcome back to Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life Special Edition. This is Showboat, and today we are starting up the second day of winter. Yes, I definitely want to go to bed, but no, I don't want to save. I don't want to save game. Alright, so hopefully today we will get to our fourth heart with Lumina. Oh, it's so early. Rain? No. Cool. Let's do this thing. Fog. Interesting. Oh look, the trees are growing. Oh look, snow. It's snowy. Oh look, a sorrel. That totally wasn't here yesterday. As far as I could tell, noticed, lack of noticing. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Now look, another sorrel. Hi. I don't know why I ate this one as well. I am uncertain why my thumb hit triangle instead of square. So yeah, I hope we get our fourth heart today. That would be wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Milk. Give me the milk. You're only giving me one. Oh, how sad. Hi. Hey, she's pregnant. Beautiful. Beautiful. You guys gonna eat anytime soon? I wonder. Anyway, they should both be good for the day. Off we go. So I don't really have too much planned for this day. It's gonna basically be just a repeat of last time. This is being recorded on a Wednesday morning. I guess you can call it morning. It is what day is it? October 20-something. Yes, 20-something. Here, let me go in the correct direction and look. I think it's like 21st. Yeah, 21st of October. Yesterday was the release of Tales of Zesty, and I got my physical copy in the mail on that day for PlayStation 4 because, yeah, screw the PC version of any Tales game because they have not been on PC ever. So I already foresaw that there was going to be a lot of problems with PC launch of this particular game, even though they offered a free copy of Symphony. What? Sleeping? Really? 7. Open up. Thank you. Hi. Yes, I came to visit you. Take a flower. I really don't want to get off of 69, but I guess we need to. Yes, take my flower. And then we'll talk again. Hi. Thing. Darn. Maybe tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it takes a while because she might need to be maxed on affection in order for it to report 4 hearts. and the amount needed for max must be a lot higher from the start of the third heart than from going from 2 to 3. It's probably why it's taking so much longer than the last time. If only I could figure out the actual reason why she will or will not accept a second gift in a day. So, anyway, yeah, Tales of Zestiria released. I did get the PlayStation 4 version. Finally, an actual reason for me to plug in my PlayStation 4 and turn it on. First time in several months that I have actually used my PlayStation 4 for anything. This is despite having not actually really played, like, Bloodborne at all for the system, even though I own it. Plus, I have other games too for it that I should have played and ended up just not playing. But when it comes to a Tales game, absolutely, I will play that into oblivion. I happen to be a pretty big fan of the Tales series. Unfortunately, I haven't really played that many that haven't been on Nintendo consoles. I've watched Let's Plays of a number of them that aren't on Nintendo consoles, but yeah, I just really like the series. Think Final Fantasy with real-time combat, and that's pretty close to the Tales series. It's essentially Bandai Namco's version of Final Fantasy, except for the most part it takes place in separate universes most of the time, but the setting is usually more fantasy element than technical, like not really high-tech society, just more fantasy-type society. There are elements of higher technology in the worlds, but for the most part, it's focused on that more older style fantasy. So, yeah, I started out playing that last night for a couple of hours. Went through, like, basically the prologue, I guess is what you could call it. Fought, like, a boss twice. Played it on hard immediately. I know it's been a while since I last played a Tales game to any serious extent, but yeah, I just started playing it on the hard difficulty, which is as high as it goes for your first playthrough of the game. And yeah, I have been enjoying it thus far. It is pretty nice, although my PlayStation 4 seems to have had a few issues with audio. It was like cutting out the audio every so often. Like very brief, like 2-second cut to the audio, and I think that's more of a system thing. I hope I have solved it now, but as far as the game itself, it's perfectly fine. It's clearly was designed for the PlayStation 4. And yeah, I haven't had any problems with it. It's been wonderful. Of course, I am used to that type of game because I have played the previous games. They share, like, all of the healing items, for instance. They're all the same between all of the Tales games, similar to what it's like with Final Fantasy. They're just telling different stories with each game that releases. The ones that I have played, well, the first one was Tales of Symphonia for the GameCube. And this is a series where you're allowed to restart once you beat the game. You can restart, and depending on how well you did during the playthrough, you can purchase certain things to go into the new game with, retaining your levels that you made, like all of your level ups. You can retain those, you can retain the skills that you've learned and stuff like that, but only if you did well enough during combat to earn these grade points to be able to purchase that sort of stuff. So I played Symphonia several times. I looped that game so many times when I was really into it. It was at least 8, 9, maybe 10 times, I think, that I looped that game, in a row. I really, really, really got into Symphonia. And eventually I ended up getting Fantasia, Tales of Fantasia for Game Boy Advance. It was originally on Super Nintendo. It takes place in the same universe as Symphonia, except distant past compared to the story of Symphonia. In fact, they're the ancestors of the characters that appear in Symphonia. It's pretty interesting that, and I guess technically those had been the only two that I had actually played until they released Tales of the Abyss on 3DS, which I also played and beat. Didn't care for it too much compared to Symphonia. I mean, it was an interesting story. It ended up being more about cloning, as its biggest thing. Each of the Tales games has a very specific overall theme to each one, and it just hammers that theme. When you start the game, you don't really get it at the start. It's more something that just comes up as you go along towards the middle and end of the game, where it really, really gets into that sort of theme. In Tales of the Abyss, it was cloning. In Tales of Symphonia, it's racism. I forget Fantasia, because it was so long ago since I last played it. I can't actually remember the story of that one at all. In fact, because it's been 10 years since playing that, something like that. It's so many years since I last played Fantasia. Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World, which I haven't actually played myself. I technically own, but I have watched a Let's Play of it, so I do know that story. That one concerns itself more with, I guess you could say, acceptance of the end. Acceptance that everything will eventually die, kind of thing. That's what that story ends up really being concerned about, with resolving that there will be an end to things eventually. Well, that was quick. So for Zestiria, I am not that far into it in order to make a good determination of what it will end up what it will end up being. Right now it has elements of evil in the world kind of thing, so it might just hammer that for the rest of the game about overcoming the evils of the world. But hey, I like the characters so far. It's pretty interesting. First, I guess you could call it a boss fight. I mean, when I looked at the grade that I got for that first difficult fight, I guess you could call it difficult fight, I got lots of lots of grade points because it said defeated a powerful enemy. So I'm guessing, oh, this must have been considered a boss fight because it's giving me grade points for quote defeating a powerful enemy. And you do that fight twice. It's really interesting. You do it like in a row, basically, without much in between. And on hard difficulty in Tales of Zestiria, you apparently get less experience points for each battle, but you get more money. And I'm also assuming you get a slight bonus to the quality of items that you would get on the moderate difficulty. But it's interesting because it will require that you fight more, which means you have more opportunities to get grade points. So by the end of the game, you should just end up with a lot more grade points for fighting on the higher difficulty level. And there will be harder difficulty levels than hard. When I eventually finish the story and restart from the beginning, there should be higher difficulty levels, at least one, that will be available at that point. That's harder than hard. But for now, it's enough of a challenge. I have died a few times on normal encounters. Like, it was interesting. I just got outnumbered and just died a few times in just standard encounters against enemies. It put me 4v2, where it's me as a melee character with a partner that's more of a caster type of character, and they just focused on the caster character, and it's like, damn, took him down and then took me down. It's like, wow, really? That was fast. It was a quick end to my existence on each time that happened. Eventually I made it through, mind you. Eventually I made it through and sort of figured out how to handle those types of encounters, but that's the thing you need to learn when you're playing on hard. You need to learn how to handle those types of situations. So yeah, I've been enjoying it thus far for the relatively short amount of time that I had played it last night. I played it for about 2.5 hours, I would say. And that was the extent that I played it. As for other things going on, not much really. I know next week is the launch of the Xbox One Elite controller that I do have on pre-order. I did not get a Steam controller. That just seems like too much of a hassle to get used to. But I did end up getting the Elite. So that arrives on Tuesday. I got Yoshi's Woolly World in the mail 2 days ago. The pack with the green yarn Yoshi. I also separately got the light blue and the pink yarn Yoshis, so I now have all 3 of those, which is pretty darn awesome. Yeah, so that's basically that. I mean, I'm still sort of getting over my cold. I don't know if you could tell, but I have a bit of a stuffy nose right now. I mean, otherwise I feel fine. It's just, yeah, stuffy nose is stuffy. I can get a decongestant from Dayquil, but Yeah, no. Just no. Just no. I would rather not get like addicted to Dayquil and NyQuil during this. Although I really want the decongestant. Thing is, I'm not really supposed to take anything with decongestants because I have higher blood pressure. It's like on the border of being hypertension. Like just barely on that border. Coffee doesn't help. I drink coffee every day. That does not help in the slightest. Let's see if we can give a second gift to Lumina today, shall we? In fact, that may have been the reason why it was on the border of hypertension when I had gotten my blood pressure taken a long time ago, earlier in the year. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I finally got my bills for way back early in the year, and in like late February, March, when I had a very slight case of strep throat. It's one of the like minor strains of strep that I had. And I got roped into doing, well, I did the throat culture, so I had to pay for that. That was like over $20 just for that alone. And, oh, she's probably in Romana's room. What am I thinking? Yeah, she's in Romana's room. But I ended up having, like, my A1C checked, and, like, check for hyperthyroidism and stuff like that, but that ended up being really expensive. That was over $70 by itself. I ended up paying like over $100 recently because they finally sent me a bill. I was like, what? It took you this... Wait, what? No! God damn you, game. Defaults to no. I will never get used to this defaulting no to giving gifts. Why would you freaking default no? I can't check this while she's not here. Darn it, I could have given her a second gift. Basically, I just confirmed as well that it is a 12-hour timer between giving gifts. Darn. Darn. I hate this game at times. I really do. Really do hate it at times. So what else is there? Well, I don't think much, to be completely honest. It's just I got those things. I got those things in the mail. Been playing video games quite clearly. As for what's coming up, well, there is that controller I've been looking forward to for a little while. I'm going to be getting a boxed set of the entirety of the Claymore manga collection, translated to English, of course. It released, technically, yesterday. I had it on pre-order. It was supposed to have been shipped and arrive yesterday, but Amazon apparently had some trouble. They were like, oh, hey, we need to delay this till Friday. Could you approve that you still want this thing? And I'm like, yeah, I still want this thing. Why was there a delay? And then I go to the page as well, and they now say, hey, we have these in stock, but there's probably going to be a 1 to 2 day processing period before we can ship this out. I don't know why. I don't know what the hell is going on. Is there like a box shortage of boxes that can actually fit this thing inside of it? I have no idea. It is really weird. But apparently I will be getting it on Friday, which will be the next time that I record one of these videos. So that has been the second day of winter. I ended up talking a lot about the Tales series in this, but yeah, playing a game, talking about another game. Isn't that just wonderful, thrilling conversation topics? Anyway, so with that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Showboat, and I will see you all on the next one, where, yet again, we're going to hope that we get up to our 4th heart with Lumina. I will see you all then.